My name is Jenna Nelson, and I run a white label of GHL, GoHighLevel, called BrandWave. And in particular, I work with a lot of events venues. So we have a really specific sort of subset of my agency called BrandWave for events. And so that's a bit of kind of the audience I'm talking to today. But I think this new feature set actually really could benefit just about anybody using GHL because it has both sort of an online event component and a live event component. So this is really exciting. There really hasn't been an easy way with GHL or GoHighLevel to do ticketing or RSVPs. Previously, I've built some workarounds, but they were all kind of messy, required a lot of actual like manual building, and there wasn't really like an RSVP system. And now there is. So this is in beta. We've just rolled it out to BrandWave for Events clients this week. I'm starting to slowly roll it out to my other clients as well. But I want to show you some of the basic functionality. And what I'm going to start with today is actually online events, so webinars, because previously you were maybe taking a registration through Zoom and then you were, using Zapier or something to, sync that back to HighLevel. It was a little messy, but now you can just do this as a registered event within the platform, and it's so much easier. So I'm going to do just a real quick kind of overview demo and show you how that works. All right, so let's get into BrandWave. So again, this is my white label, but any of the GHL functionality is essentially going to work primarily the same. I have some things built in specific to event venues that you might see, but really anybody using GHL, any white label you might be on, this should all be, because it's brand new, not really customized yet. So right now, this is over here in events. Obviously, it's marked as beta. Again, not every sub account will have this right now because it's in beta, so only certain agencies have it. And then only some of us have even started rolling it out to clients. Some of us are still kind of just playing with it on our own. But I wanted at least my venue clients to have it, so I've activated it. So this is the events tab. This is kind of where it takes you, just kind of an overview. And then you go over here to create your event. And so the first thing it's going to ask you is this a ticket event? Are we selling, or are we just doing a free event, guest confirm attendance? So for the purpose of this today, because I kind of want to show you what a webinar would look like, most of those, not always, but most of those tend to be free. They might be your lead generation tool or something like that. So I'm going to use the free RSVP option today, but I'll go back and I'll do a ticketed demo later. So event name, obviously really simple. So for today, we're just going to call this test webinar. You can put a cover image in here. This is where you put your short summary, your event description. This can take codes. You could put a lot of, really customized stuff in here if you wanted. But for today, just for the sake of demoing, I'm going to leave this really simple. So we will do continue next. And then it asks for date and time. So this could be, what I love now is you can make this multi-day. So if I wanted, again, this is a webinar, so probably nobody's attending a 2-day webinar, but let's say it's a 2-day online summit, or if it is a ticketed event, it's a multi-day event, you can do that. So start date and end date. For simplicity today, I'm going to leave it all as the same start time and end time, or same date. You can change your time zone, and then you click continue. This is where it's going to ask you, is this in person or online? So again, this is for the free event setup. So if you are having a free online event or in-person event, you could still use this in the same way without selling specific ticket types if you're just taking RSVPs. But for today, I want to show you how the online access works. So page title. So we're going to call this a weekly demo webinar, right? This is where you put your join link. So this could be a Zoom link. This could be, I use Google Meet personally. So this could be a Google Meet link if you're not paying for Zoom. Any kind of platform here that you want to use. It does require me to put a link in here. So I'm just going to put not a real link in here, but this would be where you would put that Zoom link. And then up here, it asks you, do you want to show immediately? So do you want to give them that link the day they register or as soon as they hit this registration page? Do you want it hidden until the event starts? Or you can do a custom schedule. You could wait until 2 days before the event to release the link, whatever you might want to do there. For a free event, I'm thinking probably visible is what you might want, but it's just going to depend on your configuration there. Again, you can put an image and then you can put joining instructions down here. So if you need to add like a password because it's, password protected, if you want them to bring a certain thing to the webinar, some pre-work, you can put that on there. This is all going to go on their attendee page or your registration page, essentially, if we're thinking about it that way. So we'll go continue here. Next thing, it's asking me organizer image. So this is where you put your logo, your name. I'm just going to put my info in here for a minute. What you need for sure is name and email. And that's it. And create event. And that's how simple it is just to create the event. So from here, now you're in your actual event. And now you have a bunch of things you can do. So it kind of walks you through some of these. You can review your RSVP form and you can customize it here. So these are all form fields. First name, last name, email, pretty standard, but you can add fields in here. So any fields that you might want. What is it? What questions do you have? What features are you asking about? You could add those in there. Are you bringing children? Are you bringing anybody else? You can add all that in there. So super helpful. You can change, the checkout button, so if you want it to say register, if you want it to say join, if you want to say confirm, whatever you want to say. Time zone field, you can let your visitors review and change the time zone based on their own, which is kind of nice. And then it's also got a terms and conditions down here. So certainly if you're going to be sending text message automations, we're going to want to, put that kind of, consent in there. You could also put a link in if you've got, a link. And then there's also this schedule page. So this is really cool. If you're doing, a multi-day session, or even if you're just doing like a 1-hour webinar, you've got multiple speakers or different sections, you can add sessions here. So, right. So I can come in here and I can add, Jenna demo, right? And what, this is from 9, let's say, we put this as 9 to 5 earlier. So let's say this one's 9 to 10 a.m., right? 9 to 9:54 a.m. Sure, why not? There's a 5-minute break there, 6-minute break. You can add a speaker. So you could add, so this is great if you're running online summits or events. You can add all their speaker info in here. You could add their social links. That's really cool. So all of this is just kind of natively built in here. Same thing, the speakers tab. But let's go back here. So we looked at our form registrations, right? Next thing is review notifications. So this is where, so if you want a alert every time somebody registers, you can set that up for yourself. You can get a daily summary if you do not want an alert every time someone registers. I definitely would not. Daily summary might be fine, maybe even a weekly summary. But you can change that there. And then here's where you customize all the emails that are sent to attendees automatically. So this registration confirmation, again, you come in here and this either dynamically populates. That's what those little curly brackets do based on your information, or you can come in here and you could change anything you wanted this to say. So I could say register for, whatever that might be. Again, you can use custom fields here. You can use code. You can make this really customized. You can change the button text. And my favorite thing now is when this sends, it does have this kind of add to Google Calendar, which previously was not super easy to do with this platform. So I'm really excited about that. There are sharing links. You can change the name of it, like your slug for your registration. So lots of options there. And I want to go back to the notifications, because what I didn't show you here is then you've got the before event reminders. So it's kind of got an automatic 3-day in here, but you can add more. So you want a 1-day, you want a 1 hour, you want a 30 minutes. Look, you can add all those in. We can change any of these inputs that we want. Reminder, link, all of that. So that's notifications. And then there's also post-event follow-up, right? So after they come to the event, if they, come to it, I think you can probably even set it to be, regardless of whether or not, they attended, because let's face it, there's always a lot of drop off. So you've got options there. So that just makes it really easy, and you don't have to go in and build an entire separate workflow anymore. It's all kind of managed through here. Let's see, what else do I want to show you? So in registrations right here, obviously this is going to be a roster of your registrants. So that's super helpful. One limitation I will call out right now, and this will change. So by the time you've watched this, maybe it will be live. But right now, there's not a way, if somebody buys multiple tickets, there's not a way to track every single name of each ticket. That is being worked on. I know that that's coming down the pipe, and hopefully that's, possibly even within, days or a week or so. So that's just a limitation I want to call out right now. So you've got all your event details in here. You can come back anytime you need to edit this. You've got your schedule. This public page is what you would post like on your website or behind a social button or something like that. So we can come in here and we can customize all these sections. So if you want an about, if you don't, you could take it out. You could put in an FAQ, you could put in your speakers, your hosted by, anything you want to put in there. And this can all be styled. So you come in here, okay, I want my own custom color. I use this hex code. You put that in there. You've got page templates, you've got typography, you've got all your kind of standard customization options to make it look on brand for your event. And that's it. And then your webinar is done, right? So when anytime somebody registers for this webinar, now it's going to automatically populate into your CRM, into your contacts. If you want to fire other workflows based off of that, you can do that as well with that kind of trigger. So this is great. I mentioned, in particular, the RSVP tracking, and that I work with a lot of event venues, not so relevant to the online, aspect of the event side, but, let's say ticketed side, and you're a venue, and maybe, you've got a couple that wants to have a digital RSVP system. You can upsell that as the venue, and you can manage it for them and sell that in addition to whatever you're charging them for the venue, right? And that's a really great thing to offer. So I just kind of want to, keep exploring this functionality. I'll do a couple more demo videos, certainly on the ticketed event types and, some other features, but this online webinar, online event feature on its own is just worth its weight in gold, because this was previously a little bit of a challenge within GHL if you were using Zoom or an outside recording platform. I use Riverside. So for me, that was a whole nother complication. So this is great. So if you have any questions, please book a call with me. I'd be happy to go through it with you, do a live demo, answer your questions. And certainly, I've got some information on the website as well. But just wanted to kind of walk you through this because this is a feature I'm personally really excited about. This is going to make my own webinar workflows a lot easier. And I know that it will help venues and really anybody that might run an event, which is practically everyone, right? So this is a super exciting new feature inside of GHL, GoHighLevel, or BrandWave if you're one of my users. And I look forward to continuing to expand this functionality and give you guys some fun add-ons specifically for venues as we continue to develop this product. Have a great day.